Hi, I'm Jules and you're watching Catalyst Plus TV, the place to be to make more possible. This week is Tradie Tuesday. This episode is specifically for tradies, and in the lead up to end of financial year, as part of our series, I just wanted to talk to you about stock takes. Now, some of you might have stock in a warehouse and others might have stock in your trade vehicles. And the thing is, we really would like to encourage you all to do a stock take. Now, why on earth do you want to do a stock take? It's just going to be extra work for you on a day that you're already busy. But here's the thing. If you do a stock take on the 30th of June, then you can actually figure out how much stock you have on hand at the end of the year. And that is really good for two particular reasons. The first is on your balance sheet, it can actually show that you have some stock on hand or some consumables. And that means that you've got assets ready for the new financial year. And that's always really good when you want to show a bank or potentially a prospective buyer that you've got a good foundation in your business. The second thing is really important for helping you to figure out your financial position for the current financial year. So this actually will affect your tax return and the balance in your tax return for the thing called cost of goods sold. Now, some of you might have a big long list that you'll have to go through and a warehouse that you might have to look into and count up and get ready. And others will just have their utes and their trade vehicles. Whichever the case, it's always a good idea to write down how many items of each particular inventory that you have at 30 June and to put the cost price associated with it. Now, once you do that, you add it all up and then that's the stock value that you have at the end of the year. That balance is very important for your tax accountants and it helps you to show the proper position of your business and how you've performed in the financial year. Now, what are some tips to make it a little bit less cumbersome? Well, when I was a kid, my dad used to get me to help him do the stock takes, and we used to actually go through and figure out what aisles would be easy for us to count. Now, I'm not suggesting that you get your children to get involved, and I know I was certainly not the best because I would write 0 and 1 and 2 and 3, but the big piles of items, I would just leave that for somebody else to count. So maybe not the best helper. But what is important is to make sure that you do it in a systemized way. So potentially you have different types of product or different types of consumables, and it's easy for you to do it in different calibers and different sizes, and then just go, then you can just write it all down. The other thing might be, if you've got a system that outlines all of your inventory, you can print a report and then just write how many items of each inventory that you actually had on hand. And otherwise, it's just a good old spreadsheet. Write down the stock that you have on hand and then figure out how much it costs you from your supplier. It is a bit of work, but once you've got the template, then you've got it ready for the following year. And it is definitely worth your doing it. It can save you a lot of money in terms of tax. So please give it a go. If you have any help or questions or queries or some tips and advice for other tradies, please leave a comment below at www.catalystplus.com.au and we'll share it all around. But in the meantime, have yourself a great week and we'll see you in next week's episode of Catalyst Plus TV.